Yo, what is up guys? LostNUnbound here, and today we've got the top 10 player rating predictions for NBA 2K15. And we actually have a surprise at who is on top at number 1. Now guys, this is my top 10 list in my opinion, but I really want to hear what you guys think, because a lot of times you guys think of something that I don't. You guys think of certain things that I didn't remember. So you know what, please let me know down below in the comment section your top 10 list for NBA 2K15, because I'm sure you guys might have a different opinion and I can't wait to see what you guys have to say. Now when I think about the most balanced player in the NBA, I generally will think about LeBron James, but you know what? This season, it was KD. In my opinion, KD should be number 1 in the rankings for the rosters in NBA 2K15. Now, this does not necessarily mean that he's the best player out of the two. He might be, that's up to debate. But you know what? He was the MVP. Put yourself in 2K's shoes. He's the MVP. He's the cover of your game. How is he not the top rated player? He played phenomenal last season. And you know what? Still, LeBron vs. KD is a tough decision, but for this specific game, in my opinion, I'm going to go with KD. He's an amazing scorer. You guys already know that. I don't even need to say that. He is an unbelievable scorer, but people don't pay attention to his rebounding. Look at his rebounding statistic. 31.4 points per game, along with 7.8 rebounds per game. Most big men don't even get that many boards per game, and plus his assists, 5+ per game. But it's not only the numbers, it's his control over situations. When he needs to, he takes over. He leads OKC Thunder, and he just does an amazing job with really being the core of the team. Now at number 2, LBJ aka LeBron James. The man is a beast. So athletic, he can score, he can pass, he can rebound, he's balanced. I don't even need to say that. Just like KD, you guys see it yourself. He is amazing, not only technically, but also he uses his strength to get into the rim. And before, I was talking about balance. 26+ points per game, 7 boards, 5 assists, a steal or 2. The guy is an overall balanced player. He's not one-dimensional. If you look at Michael Beasley, for example, not going to be on this list, no surprise. He's a great scorer, but he didn't make it too far in the NBA because that's it. He's got scoring talent. Rebounding, not exactly. Assists, not exactly. Steals, you guys know the deal. So Michael Beasley doesn't have that, but LeBron James definitely does. Now moving on to number 3, this is where things get pretty tough. Now I know some people might say Paul George, some people might say Kevin Love, Carmelo Anthony, but my number 3 is CP3 aka Chris Paul. In my opinion, his numbers do not put him to justice. If you take a look at the Clippers without Chris Paul and just with Blake Griffin and the rest of the squad, and the difference with Chris Paul, it is monumental. If you look at his numbers, those are impressive as well. 19+ points, 11+ assists, a couple steals. Somehow he even manages 4.6 rebounds per game. But like I said before, it's not just about the numbers. He sets up the team. He is the core of the team. The team runs around CP3. The offense runs around him. The defense runs around him. He is the center of the team, and without him, it would be tough for them to even make the playoffs, in my opinion. So with that being said, I have Chris Paul as number 3 on the list. Now number 4, I was really narrowed down between Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, but at the end of the day, the decision was Carmelo Anthony. And you know why? Paul George is a better defender. He might be a little bit more versatile than Carmelo Anthony, but Carmelo makes a bigger impact on a team. A team without Carmelo Anthony can be one of the worst offensive teams in the league, but as soon as you bring him over, you guys can be in the top 10 for scoring. Now obviously, scoring is generally not enough to win a title. That's why he's not number 1, but I believe that Carmelo Anthony does deserve the number 4 spot. Now don't forget, he is a solid rebounder as well. He works the post game, the 3-point shots, it's sacking the basket, he can draw fouls and go to the line. He's got an efficient, keyword efficient, offensive game. At number 5, we've got the one and only Paul George. Now the reason I picked Paul George at number 5 was not only the stats. There is not a stat for defense. Yeah, you've got steals, you've got blocks. Defense, not exactly a stat. He was underrated in the league in previous years, but the 2013-2014 season was when he made the leap from very good to great. On top of that, don't forget he was scoring above 22 points per game, grabbing 6 boards, 3 assists, a steal, a block. He put in some work along with the defense, not just the crazy athletic player with hops, but also the player that can lead a team. And so far in this commentary, you keep hearing me say the word lead. Players that can lead the team. Those are the players that should be on top, because some of these players are the glue for the team to bring them together and build a solid squad. Next up at number 6, Kevin Love. Now 6 is the absolute farthest down that Kevin Love should go. Maybe even higher than that. That's up for debate. Look at the man's numbers. Easily one of the most underrated players in the league, just like Paul George. Look at the stats. 26 points per game and almost 14 boards. Yes. 26 and 14. If somebody in one game goes 26 and 14, that is impressive. But to average that for the whole season is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Now for some players like Paul George, the stats do not exactly help their case because he's focused on defense. When it comes to my man Kevin Love, the stats do help his case because the boards, the points, those can kind of be padded up. So for him, it works out, but I don't think I would put him above Paul George because let's all be honest here, Kevin Love is not the best defender out there. He does not exactly lock down the paint, go in for some blocks, being a real defensive presence. That's not exactly him. That's why he's not higher. If he could play defense at a high level, this man could be top 3. But you know what? Because of his lack of defensive capabilities, we put him at number 6. And by the way, guys, just a heads up, I'm not going to be ranking Derrick Rose in this one. I'm going to be keeping him out of it. Not necessarily saying that he should be out of the top 10, but I'm just not going to rank him because you know what? He hasn't played much in the past 2 seasons. I feel that it's unfair to give him a number, a ranking. He just needs to show what he can be on the court. When he comes back this season, he might dominate the league and become a top 3 player. Or he might struggle a bit and be out of the top 10. So for injury purposes, I will not be ranking Derrick Rose today. Moving along to number 7, you guys already know. One of the 2 Splash Brothers, my man Steph Curry. This man is deadly from beyond the arc. His 3-point shooting is unbelievable. Now many people can say that they're great 3-point shooters, but they're not the best players. Anthony Morrow, Steve Novak, the list goes on. But that does not exactly make them the best player just because they can shoot threes. The difference with Steph Curry is that he can create his shots. He doesn't need somebody else to set him up. He can set himself up. He's good at creating the shots. He can hit from long range. He can pull up for a mid-range jumper. He can go in with that beautiful floater of his. He's got options and he can score the ball at a high level. But let's not forget he is also getting 9 assists per game, so he can dish the ball around. Next up, moving on to number 8. Blake Griffin. You saw Chris Paul, part 1 of Lob City earlier on today at number 3. Blake's gonna be at number 8. Now he is no longer the man that can just dunk. A lot of people know him as that, the dunker, the athletic big man. He is much more than that. Not only is he a great dunker, he can score in the post, he can spin off the post, he can make some moves, he can use his strength to create a possession, but also he's been working on that jump shot of his. In the NBA playoffs, when I was watching him, this man was hitting jumper after jumper. And I'm looking at this like I remember a few seasons ago, he could hit those shots, but sometimes not too efficiently. But right now, he has progressed that jump shot, and who knows where that jump shot is going to be next season. At this rate, it's just getting better and better. At number 9, James Harden. Now you guys know I'm an OKC Thunder fan, so I wasn't too happy with the fact that we were not able to keep my man James Harden, and that's for a reason. He can score the basketball. Now back in OKC, he wasn't averaging 24 points per game. He had a different role. He was a 6th man, he was off the bench, he was a supporter, not a leader. That changed in Houston. When he came to Houston, he knew he had to be the leader. Even with Dwight Howard there, he was the main guy, and he knew that. So when he went in there, he played phenomenal. He shot the ball at a high level. The percentage could be better, but you know what? He did average 24 plus points per game, over 4 boards, 5 assists, and even a steal every game. Now when I say that he's a leader, I don't mean that he's a player like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, that can make the difference between a non-contender and a title favorite. What I mean by that is that he can take the ball, create his own shots, and lead the team in scoring by averaging between 20 and 25 points per game. Now his scoring is solid. Like I said before, the percentages could always be better, but last season they actually were not too bad. So you might be thinking to yourself, wait a second, Lost, you're just saying good things about him. Why is he number 9? Why is he not number 3? James Harden's defense is a complete disaster. Now, I say that with all due respect because he is an amazing player, but let's all be honest here, he's not the best defender, so that puts him at number 9. And by the way, guys, right before I say number 10, I also want to say that Kobe Bryant is also not going to be on this list for the same exact reason as Derrick Rose, because he didn't play much last season, only about 5 or 6 games, so I feel like it's unfair to rank him. So, just like Derrick Rose, I will not be ranking Kobe Bryant. It doesn't mean that he's not a top 10 player. He probably is, but for this ranking, we will not be giving him a number. What we will see is this season how well he plays, and maybe in an upcoming ranking, we can see him possibly in the top 5. Now for number 10, there were many considerations. Dwight Howard, the extremely underrated LaMarcus Aldridge, even Dwayne Wade. Now the main reason that I am not picking Dwayne Wade is because of his age. I don't see how 2K can bump up his rating after last season. It's probably going to drop a tad bit, so he's just outside of the top 10 range in my opinion. Number 10, I will be going with my man Kyrie Irving. This guy is a beast, absolute beast. He's young, he's athletic, he's got a deep 3-point shot, a consistent 3-point shot. He is so talented at penetrating the basket, attacking the rim. He can hit the jump shot, he can set his players up. He is a star. Now, why is he number 10 and not higher? Because look at the team around him. If he had LeBron James last season, if he had Kevin Durant, he probably would not have averaged that many points per game. So because his team was not that good, he had to take charge, he had to do the scoring, he had to do a ton for the team, a large portion, and because of that, these numbers are slightly expected. I'm not saying it's not impressive, it most definitely is extremely impressive, but you know what, because the team around him was not amazing, you can kind of expect him to have those types of numbers. But I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below, and let me know what you guys think. What is your top 10 list? Who do you think will be the top 10 rated players in NBA 2K15? I want to hear your opinion down below in the comment section. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to join LNU Nation for your #1 source of all NBA 2K14, my GM mode, my team, and all NBA 2K15 info as well. Follow me on Twitter at LostNUnbound. That is the best place to reach me. My Twitch channel will be in the description, and I try to live stream over there several times per week at 7 PM Eastern. And as always, guys, I'm LostNUnbound, and have a great day. Peace out.